Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and I'm welcoming you to another one of our uploads of this time a replay baseball National League Division Series circa 2015. It's the Dodgers at the Mets, and the series is led by the Dodgers 2-1, so they're one game away from eliminating the Mets, who actually won this series and moved on to the NLCS and then eventually the World Series against the Kansas City Royals. So we're not faring as well because we are down a game. It requires us to win two in a row. And this is a heck of a game, and that's why I am sending it out and making it public. Now, we're in the top of the 10th inning. The score is 5-5. And how did that happen? Well, the Dodgers took a 5-3 lead, even though the Mets in the bottom of the second with a 3-run homer by Wilmer Flores, the longtime Met signed as a 16-year-old, hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the second, and it gave the Mets a 3-1 lead. And that stood until the top of the sixth. It was Matz on the mound for the Mets, and there were two outs. Kendrick grounded out, Gonzalez grounded out, and then Justin Turner, ball four, he walked, and it was Puig who steps into the plate. And here's the pitch from Matz. It's a deep drive to left field. Back goes the left fielder, Cespedes, to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 2-run home run by Puig, and that puts the Dodgers up by a score of 4-3. And that stood until the top of the eighth when the Dodgers added another run, and it was 5-3 going into the bottom of the ninth inning. In the bottom of the ninth inning, it was going to be Kenley Jansen, the closer for the Dodgers, coming in after Kershaw, who pitched masterfully, allowed a single to Cespedes. Immediately he was replaced by Don Mattingly, and Jansen came in to face d'Arnaud, Travis d'Arnaud, the Mets catcher, who was 0 for 3 on the day. And here's the pitch to d'Arnaud from Jansen. It's a deep drive to left field. Back goes the left fielder, Ethier, to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. The Mets have tied it up. A 2-run home run by Travis d'Arnaud in the bottom of the ninth inning. And now the score is tied at 5 apiece. Right after that, Jansen followed up by striking out Duda, getting Wilmer to fly out to left, and then striking out Lagares. And that takes us to the top of the 10th inning, where we join the action. And it's going to be Turner, Puig, and A.J. Ellis against Reed. The Mets Addison Reed, and we're right about to start. So let's take it from here. It's a 5-5 ball game. This is elimination time for the Mets, so the Mets have a must-win situation here. Now we're using replay baseball. We're new to it, so we may lag behind somebody who's more experienced as we play, but that's fine and dandy. And here's the pitch from Reed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch these. We're going to read the Justin Turner's card first, and then the pitcher's card. And this is how we do with the fast action cards. We're not using any dice. It's going to be a 5-3, so that's a 5. And then a 5-3 again is going to be a 5 and a 1 with a high 1. So it's going to be a 6. A 6-5 is going to be a base on balls. Now the only way we can stop that is if we pull a 1 here. If we pull a 1, it's going to be 2 balls, and it's a 4, so it's a walk. So it's a base on balls for leadoff batter Justin Turner against Addison Reed. So Turner's on at first. I'm going to pull another card for Yasiel Puig. It's a 4-5-2. So 4-5 on Puig's card is a 6. And then a 2 is going to take us to a column 6. which means now everything moves over, so it becomes a 4-6. A 4-6 is going to be against a righty. As in read as a right, it's going to be a 59, a 59, and then a 4-2. A 4-2. Wait a second. No, we're in the sixth column. So it's going to be a 59, and then a 6-2 is going to be a 60. 60 with a raised number 4. A 60 with a raised number 4. Let's look and see what that is. So it says single to left, and the raised number is not going to apply in this case. It says nothing about the raised number. Runner with 2 outs, runner on second with +2 speed scores. And there's no runner at second, so that's not going to happen. There's a runner at first. So it's basically a single, runners advance 1 base, a 60. So the Dodgers have first and second with nobody out. And it's A.J. Ellis. Now we're going to try to bunt. His bunt is a 1. The sacrifice bunt with runners on first and second. A 1 is in this section. We know he's going to try to bunt, so the infield is in here. And it's a 7. A 7 says sacrifice potential error. And it's going to go to the third baseman. So it's going to be 5-4 with a potential error. Let's see what that... fielder charges the ball, but juggles it. So we're going to roll against the third baseman for the Mets, who is Wright. Wright is a 35. So if we pull higher than a 35, it's going to be an error on Wright, and it's a 43. So it's going to be an error, and it tells you sacrifice plus error. It says roll against the fielder's error rating if higher, batter is safe on first, runners advance 1 base. If not higher, fielder recovers to retire the batter. Okay, so now we're going to have the bases loaded. It's going to be an E5. And it's going to be a sacrifice, not an out. So there's no at bat there for the 0-for-4 Ellis. And it's going to be Ethier with the bases loaded, and the infield is going to be brought in by the Mets. Let's see what happens. It's Andre Ethier. The bases are loaded. It's 5-5. This is elimination postseason for the Mets, American League Division Series. We're in the top of the 10th inning. The pitcher is Addison Reed. Here's the pitch to the left-handed batting Andre Ethier. It's a 1-2. That's a 1. And then under Reed, it goes here. Wait a second. Under Reed, it's a 1-5. It's a 2 and plus a 1. That's a strikeout. So Ethier goes down swinging, out number 1 in the inning. And next is going to be Rollins. Here's the pitch to Rollins. Bases loaded, game tied, top of the 10th. Elimination for the Mets. A 1-5 against Rollins is a 5. And then a 1-3 is a 2. That's a 7. So with a 7, it's a pop-up unless there's a symbol. And there is no symbol there, and there is no symbol there. It's a 7, a pop-up second base. Pop 4, actually, yep. And that's second baseman Murphy calls for it, makes the catch. So that brings us now to the pitcher spot. Wood. Well, there's no pitcher there yet. Right, no pitcher there yet. So we're going to have a pinch hitter here. And a pinch hitter, we're going to pull a pinch hitter who actually played in this game. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Utley, we got Pedersen, and we're going to bring in Peterson, I'm sorry. Peterson. He's got a bat. He's a left-handed hitter. 26 home runs, 210 average. And he's going to be facing Addison Reed. bases loaded, 2 outs now. Can Reed get this last out to get out of a huge bases loaded no out jam for the Mets? Here goes. You see what happens. It's a 6-6. And that's trouble. We'll see what that becomes. 6-6 here is an 11. Oh boy. And then a 6-6 again is a 13. And that's a deep drive to right field. Back goes Granderson to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Grand slam for Peterson, pinch hitter, in the top of the 10th inning. And now it's a 9-5 ball game with the Dodgers leading it. And we go to Hernandez. Enrique Hernandez, the center fielder. But the Dodgers, unfortunately for the Mets, and the Met home crowd is now silent, have taken a 9-5 lead in the top of the 10th with a grand slam by pinch hitter Peterson. And up comes Hernandez. Reed is still in there, but they're not even pulling him at this point. It's a 1-3, that's a 10, and then a 1-3 again is a 12. A 12 is going to be a single up the middle, and that's going to be all. Here comes Terry Collins to remove Addison Reed, and we are going to get Kendrick. Howie Kendrick is the batter. It's a right-handed batter. Coming in for the Mets to pitch is going to be, wow, Hansel Robles. Hansel Robles, the pitch to Kendrick. Runner on first. 9-5, Dodgers. It's 3-3, that's a 5, and a 3-3 again is a 6. 3-6 with the infield back is going to be a short fly, center field, and that retires the side. But it's .2 for Reed, who allows 3 hits, 1 huge home run, 4 runs, and actually none of the runs are going to be earned because of the error on the sacrifice. That was followed by 2 consecutive outs, so none of the runs are earned. And there was 1 strikeout and one walk. Robles comes in there at the end to get the fly out to center field and go to the bottom of the 10th inning. This is last licks for the Mets, and then they'll be eliminated. See what happens here. Got a new pitcher. Wood is coming in to face Conforto, Granderson, and Wright. And here goes. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-5. 2-5 is a 16, and then a 2-5 again. A 16 is a 20. A 20 with a 2 is going to be a fly ball, right field. And Puig to his left makes the catch, 1 away. Next is Curtis Granderson. Granderson's 1 for 2. He's got 2 walks and a single. 3-1. 3-1 is a 4, and then a 3-6 is a 8. A 3-8, and that's going to be a short fly to center. And right there is Kike Hernandez. 2 outs. The Mets are 1 out away from being eliminated from the 2015 playoffs. It's going to be heartbreaking for me for sure. It's a 6-6. It's going to be. Now we're going to have to use Citi Field because it's shaded, so we're going to go and use this number, a 4. A 4, he's a righty batter. A 4 righty batter is going to be an 8, so it's basically the same number. We pull another card, a 2, it's going to be a 9, and that's going to be under 6 column, a single to left. So right keeps Mets hopes alive here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Alex Wood, the left-hander, 3.86 ERA, 32 games started. And here's Daniel Murphy. It's a 4-4. 4-4 is a 1, and then a 4-3 is a 1 and third base, grounded to the third baseman. It's going to be a 4. It's going to be a 4 on the 4, and that's going to be the ball game. 5 fires to first. Turner fires to first for the out, and the game is over. The Mets are eliminated by a score of 9-5. Wow. So Robles came in at the end there for 1 out, but Wood allowed a hit. Jansen allowed 2 hits. Kershaw, who pitched masterfully, allowed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits in 8 innings. 1 for Jansen, 1 for Wood. So total with the Mets had 9 hits. And did the Mets have any errors? They had 1 error on Wright, who bobbled that bunt. They had only 1 error. And let's see how many hits the Mets gave up. The Mets gave up 4, 7, 10, 11 hits. And the Dodgers may have not had any errors, and I don't think they did. They did not. So, the recap. Wow. That's it for the Mets in this series. The Dodgers, 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Mets, 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. I guess the MVP has got to go to Peterson, who came in with that pinch hit grand slam. We're going to give him the MVP. And that's all she wrote. The loss is going to go to Reed. The win is going to go to Jansen. The save is going to go to Wood. And that's the ball game, guys. This is Replay Baseball. And this is CP Cards and Dice. Streaming from Queens, New York, the home of the Flushing, Queens, New York Mets at Citi Field. And I say, take care.